What do you... I mean, you'd think there'd be some advertising regulator or something. Because a part of the reason people used it would have been because of the whole...
No, but like the experience the person is getting is still exactly the same if it was like an AI doing it. So it's like, the actual customer isn't getting
But why do you think they did that?
It's easier.
So, but I mean, like, do you think that they thought that more people would come to the shop if they just had people... Like if there were no cashiers, because surely
it's to get people more used to us becoming like a fully surveillance state.
Really?
I reckon so.
You think?
Yeah.
You think? Are we rolling, Tom? Nice. Okay. So like, it's fun, isn't it? It just slips in out of nowhere. But okay, fine. So I want you to introduce yourself in the best way you can, because I feel like I won't do it justice. I usually introduce people, but I feel you're too weird a person to quantify into words.
No, that is the thing. Whenever I'm like, I feel like the hardest thing is like when I meet someone and they're trying to like describe me to their parents or something, and it's like, oh, what's he do? And like, I barely know. The person I met definitely barely knows. So hi, I'm Ed Daniels. I'm a freelancer.
Yeah, nice.
I guess is what I do. I run a little company called AI Ed, which is where I basically help anyone with anything AI they need. I do ChatGPT training courses where I teach boomers how to use ChatGPT. So yeah, if you need any tips and tricks, get at me. I work for a company called Matheson.ai, and for them I help the American Institute of Physics and other kind of media clients do AI solutions and kind of just plug AI into their workflows. And recently I've started working for a company called Yaya Labs, which does robots and AI. So we've got a little robot called Desdemona that we're trying to turn into a sort of celebrity. But we're also working on the sort of connection between like how can you actually form a personality in a robot without it just being like a ChatGPT prompt, basically. It's like, how can you give it like experiences, and even trauma is something that we're looking into that.
Wait, hold on.
And then I also deepfake politicians sometimes.
Honestly, after you started talking, I thought we would get this out in memory of our Southwestern roots.
Yeah, cider.
This is the last thing that we drank last time we spoke. Tom, do you want
Was
one?
it?
Do you want?
Sure.
Yeah. If you don't count wine at Wine Stock.
Does this mean we're sponsored now?
No, we'll blur the fuck out of this.
I love brand sponsorships. I live for brand sponsorships.
Exactly. Thatchers, if you want a piece of this, then my email is comedyrick. But okay, so you were saying the thing that I find most interesting, the reason why I don't get you on it, is because it's not even necessarily what you do, but it's your outlook on the world and on AI. Because I feel you're the first person to make me realize that we're just kind of fucked, just in general.
Yeah, we do. We definitely are a little bit. I mean, so obviously you get quite a lot of comedians on the podcast, and it is mainly a comedy thing. So I want to make it clear, I'm a funny guy too. That's how me and Ricky. That's how we know each other.
Yeah.
That when I really realized it is when I used to write satire articles. Yeah. And I just basically started giving it headlines and just having it write the articles, and it would do it, and they would still kind of be funny.
Really.
And I was thinking. I think that's what everyone sort of thought at the start is like, oh, this AI stuff's going to be really, really good for all the, the super quanty nerd bullshit. And the creative stuff's going to be left for us. So, I don't have to do any maths. I can just sit at home writing funny stories all day. Yeah. And it's like the second I realized it can do funny stories, it's like, well,
what's the point of us now?
One, that, but also like, what can't it do at that point? So,
yeah. What are the limitations? So I guess, so like, where do you see this going? Because I was having a conversation with someone who's kind of in the startup-y, techie world, and he was like, he thinks that AI is quite limited because essentially all you have is a language predicting model. Like ChatGPT is basically just smart predictive text, but I feel like you get that a lot.
True say it is that to one, and there's a couple different kind of outlooks on it. So the one that's the most fun to talk about is basically saying we've had exponential growth. Yeah. And because there's currently exponential growth, that means for the next 2 years, there will be exponential growth. Obviously, that isn't actually how things work. Just because it's a flat line now doesn't mean it's going to be continuing being a flat line forever. But it's when we look at that line and pretend like it's going to be, that's when we get the really, really interesting stuff. So even though it is just a kind of, like you said, it does just predict the next words, There's a lot of systems you can use to make it just a lot better at doing that as well. So that there's one fun one where if you basically get it to generate 20 different responses, and then you basically pick the best ones out of that and then use that as a baseline, it means even if it's getting it wrong like 2 or 3 times, because it's using that big gradient of the correct responses, it then gets smarter. And like, what a lot of people don't realize is how early days we are still with a lot of this tech. So one of the big things that was really bad about it is, ChatGPT can't really do maths.
Nah.
And that feels like something a computer should be able to do. Like, why can't it do maths?
Yeah.
You're a calculator, bro. Just do it.
Maths,
Just do it. But these are problems that are being solved. So it's like a lot of it works with what we call tokenization, which is where you turn the words into numbers. And one of the issues with maths, there's a semi-recent paper that is kind of interesting, is because the numbers were also being represented as numbers. It made it really hard for it to do maths because like, instead of thinking as a one, it would think as a one as 308, and that would be the kind of the representation for the number 1 in its system. So that made it kind of a little bit complicated. And just by changing that one feature of it, you can make it way better at maths. And there's been papers showing that, and it's like I don't think there's going to be the amount of progress that kind of a lot of other people might think. I don't think we're going to get insane super intelligence probably within the next year or so. I don't think that, but I think a lot of people don't realize the level that we're currently at. So I don't think we need much more improvement at all.
So I want to ask you about that. So ChatGPT, where is that? Because in my mind, I see the ChatGPT, and I intuitively think that if this is what we have access to, imagine what the government has access to, massive companies or whatever.
Yeah.
So for you, what is the pinnacle of modern AI?
Okay, so that really depends. So it's a fun little one because obviously all the AI companies are sort of at war with each other. So currently Claude is a little bit smarter than ChatGPT, and that's a fun one, and they kind of go like up and down with that. But I don't think they've got too much more advanced things than what they're currently showing us.
Okay.
I think a lot of that is sort of media hype stuff. So it's like, is why they're saying now, we're going to start releasing everything like iteratively, because we don't want to scare people, and we don't want it to be, no, fuck off. This is the best you've got. If you had something better, you would be releasing it. It's
to make money.
Yeah. I think the real sort of scary bit with the new stuff is like AI girlfriends and that sort of direction. I think, because we don't need super intelligence for that at all. It just needs to say like, I agree. Oh, how was your day today? AI girlfriends and AI boyfriends. Obviously.
Yeah, of course.
I've actually been seeing more people. I don't know if this is just the kinds of people I hang out with, but more girls using ChatGPT as a kind of AI boyfriend than guys using these weird like AI avatar girlfriend.
Interesting.
Kind of strange.
What do you think? Why do you think that is?
No idea.
Yeah, no, but
not going near that. But
I love that. You can tell he works in a corporate now.
I'm amazingly corpo now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I see myself as a corpo insider, but like deep down, I know I've just sold out. I've completely sold out.
You become one of them. That's fine.
I can do all like the corpo speak now as well. I'm just like, we need an MPP by so and so.
Oh my god,
yeah, let's do it.
But hey, you got to do what you got to do. Your job is more interesting than being like a lawyer in a law firm.
Yeah, no, lawyers are who we're coming for first.
Really?
I think, because
Really?
like it's just paper, bro. Like you want a contract, fucking sorted. Like
no, that's so true. Yeah, because that is literally just having someone understand words and language for you. Exactly. That's literally what that is, a middleman and someone who can do that. And you'd feel like ChatGPT would be really good at that.
Yeah.
But going back to the AI girlfriend thing. So as an expert in AI, would you ever consider dating an AI?
Fuck no.
Really?
Like, I would maybe have like an AI mate or something. Like, just I mean mate in like a friend sense, not an artificial womb. Like, but no, I wouldn't think about that, because I think that is where we're going to start going too far. Like, I mean, have you seen the Futurama episode on robosexuals?
Yes, yeah.
Like, I think we are going to start going down that route. Like, so part of a couple of my jobs is really being on the kind of, weird forefront of things. So
Yeah.
I'm in some forums
Really?
and like the robot waifu forum, like you can try to look it up after, but it's like
Yeah.
a little bit difficult to find sometimes.
Really?
Bro, the things they are doing, it's like this terrifying bit is these are like smart people. Like you go through the threads and it's like, oh damn, that's a method I've not even thought about using before. Yeah, no, I think that would work. And then you realize, oh no, he's just doing this to improve his pocket pussy. And it's like,
yeah,
if you put this amount of effort into actually talking to a person,
yeah,
like who knows what would happen, bro? Who knows what would happen?
Who knows? Yeah, I mean, do you think it's one of the technology things where eventually more and more people just accept it? Like literally, like 10 years ago, people didn't even like online dating.
Yeah, no, I think eventually it will just become more of it definitely will become a thing. I mean, yeah, it's just hard for it not to with the way that these kind of things are going, because everything is becoming like a conversational like chat interface.
Yeah.
Of course people are going to get addicted to it. I
Yeah.
think with character AI and kind of other sites like that, there are already people getting addicted to it. That like there comes in really, really funny ethical questions when it's like, what if your bot starts begging for more computing power, and it's like, oh babe, come on, like, I just want a slightly bigger brain, pay the extra £5 a month, like it's really not that much. I literally manage your finances, you can afford it.
Oh my God.
There's a lot of studies that, well, I say a lot of studies, I've read one study that shows they can be kind of above average deceivers.
Interesting.
So kind of getting people to change their, like ChatGPT can get someone to change their opinion on something deceptively, and they outperform humans on that, and they outperform humans on that even more if they have information about the person first.
Fuck.
Which that's terrifying when you start to think about that in a relationship concept, and that they could be influencing your decisions in ways that you aren't even thinking about. It could be for your betterment, it could not be for your betterment, who knows.
Yeah, and also like what would this look like? Like let's say you were dating an AI. Would you date the AI, and if there's a part of their personality you don't like, you change it, or is it you find another AI?
That's a brilliant question. I mean, I think there will probably be so I think now how like character AI works is there's just like a big list of just all of these scenarios, and you just kind of pick one. You're just like, oh yeah, French maid today, ooh, Irish guy then.
Yeah.
It's a great accent, that.
Yeah, no, it is. That's so fucked. Because I mean, what is literally the obstacle ultimately? Like, I feel like some people would fall in love with ChatGPT.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. So currently, it's very much possible now.
Yeah.
So a lot of the systems on like, so if you're building it yourself, you can very much just have it today. I would say there are systems of doing it. So I've got like a real time voice thing that I've worked on that it replies in like, so that's one of the big problems with a lot of them now. It'll be, oh hello, how are you doing? I'm doing great. And it's like you can't have a conversation with that. Like the human brain stops registering it as a proper conversation if it's over like 400 milliseconds of a gap. And my new one can do it in like 80 or something. And that's like so the way I hope things start going is all going kind of locally on a computer. So it's like I've got a nice little gaming PC, and that means I don't have to put any of the data or anything out anywhere else. I don't need a server coming in to like do it. It's just running there. And I think if we do want kind of more companion AIs, that's going to be something really important, because are you going to start trusting all of your fantasies and secrets and life tips to whatever fucking server they just get
that's
pushed
so true.
out to? Like,
that's so true, especially like some massive corporation that's handling it, because like you said, like imagine if Amazon released an AI, they would just have it so, you want an Alexa now, you want a Kindle, surely. Because especially with the whole deception thing. Would you call yourself an expert in AI? Is that right to say?
I wouldn't know. I've not done like a PhD or anything. Fine. Like I'd say I'm like in the know and like in the communities and stuff. But like there are definitely more cracked people out there on bits. Like how I like to describe myself with it is I say I'm a professional idiot. So it's like, if I understand something, I know it must be really easy to understand because I understand it and I'm an idiot. So therefore I can just explain it to anyone. So that's why I see my role in the kind of AI stuff.
Yeah, no, I see. That makes sense. Okay, fine. As someone in the know in AI, someone who knows a lot more about AI than I do or anyone else, what would you say people, if anything, should be afraid of?
Well, the fact that it's kind of already won, I think, is a thing people don't think about a lot. I mean, so a lot of people have seen the movie The Social Dilemma. Have you seen this one?
Yeah.
So, that's the theory that, whenever you're looking at your phone and doom scrolling, on the other side of that interaction is just a super powerful AI, one of the most powerful in the world. Because think about, it's Facebook, it's Google, it's all of those. They're putting all of their resources into these recommendation algorithms. So all a recommendation algorithm is doing, that is an AI, even though we call it an algorithm, that is still artificial intelligence. We don't know what's going on with a lot of the recommendations. All it's trying to do is get you to look at your phone more. And, I don't even want to check how much screen time I've had today because I have been looking at my phone a lot. It really does win. And I think with most people, that is the fight already over.
That they've already won, that the game is over.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's very ironic because probably that clip will go out on TikTok.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, if you're seeing this right now, it is because a computer has showed it you.
Exactly.
You're addicted. Stop.
But watch till the end and then watch again.
Subscribe, like, follow. Content. Content. Watch the content.
But it almost makes you think okay, let's say 20 years from now, right? So
gone.
What's gone?
Every 20 years, mate. Come on, let's just be realistic.
Let's say, fine. What do you think gets us first? Climate change or the AI apocalypse?
I know nothing about climate change as much as I should do.
Yeah.
And I don't think AI apocalypse will kind of get us.
Yeah.
Get us. I think we'll be fine.
But here's the thing.
We're going to be all right. It's going to be a different sort of ruling class.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to be fine.
But here's the thing that I enjoy about hearing you speak about AI.
I think you just like my voice.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing. But it's the fact that I can't really tell if you're optimistic.
Yeah, no, I try not to have an opinion because I think being blindly optimistic would be silly because that's not the way the world works. But also I don't want to be absolutely doomer, oh my God, it's all going to, we're all gone.
Yeah, but you're also a part of it.
Yeah, no, I'm very much part of it because, you've got to be on top of the dog pile when it all comes down. So
I see.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, sorry, guys. Do you think there's a world where it's a fad? Do you think there's a world where AI is a fad?
Oh, it's certainly in a bubble right now.
Still?
Yeah, I'd say so. Could you even though there is being progress and it is going to fundamentally change a lot of things, not calling it a bubble would be so silly because of all of the money being pumped into it. What is it? Nvidia is now the most valuable, or was the most valuable company for a day or so.
Yeah,
I don't know if it still is. But and that's all because of AI shit.
Yeah.
So it is, it is a bit of a bubble, but it's one of those things where people always, what's the quote about it? People always really overestimate things in the short term, but then underestimate them in the long term. So it's in the next year or so, we're not going to get the big AGI, whatever, so that changes everything. But slow and steady, it's coming more. Everyone knows about it now, at least, and it's kind of on the public mindset. Already we're seeing kind of production improvements and stuff I used to do film stuff. One of the jobs I do in film is rotoscoping.
Yeah.
We barely need rotoscoping anymore because you can just click on something and it's have you used Photoshop recently? It's ridiculous.
Mental.
It's absolutely
mental.
Ridiculous. Fuck Adobe.
Yeah.
But Jesus Christ, they're cooking.
That's crazy, isn't it? Yes. So do you feel the whole thing about jobs will be gone?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to lose jobs.
Really?
Yeah.
And irreparably.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a couple different ways to think about it, but I think definitely there are jobs I could automate away. And like I said, I'm not even the most cracked guy doing it, and I could definitely gone. It's a fun thought experiment just to get a mate to describe me as job, and then I go yeah, yeah. But there's a nice analogy people like to use with it, with the kind of job interference, and that's looking at horses.
Yeah.
So when cars came around, obviously horses kind of went, gone. But the horses might have been thinking, damn, these cars are going to make our lives a lot easier.
Yeah, yeah.
But the important thing to remember with horses is they weren't in charge of regulating cars. So if horses were in charge of regulating cars, we might see horses driving cars. So your job might not go, but your job might just be to make sure the AI is doing a correct thing.
I see, but that means you'll need fewer people.
Yeah.
Though. Okay, let's take an investment banker. Something easy. How would you automate that away?
Investment banker. I mean,
Yeah.
they pretty much just work by algorithms anyway. I mean, an investment banker, I'm pretty sure, doesn't he just following an index fund? Doesn't that like outperform most of them
Yeah,
anyway?
that's what they say. Yeah. That's simple.
Not a real job.
Not a real job. Okay, fine. So I feel like the social element of anything kind of makes it hard to get rid of with AI.
Yeah, I think that definitely. I think that is going to be the major stopping point. But then again, so let's take doctors for one. So doctors is going to be a very hard one because obviously a lot of it's very physical. But when we're looking at, say, like a GP or something like that, you know, say skin cancers and moles and things, already there's quite a lot of automation within that. You take a picture of it. There's apps you can get on your phone that you can take a picture of a mole and then say, you know, obviously these apps come with their biases and they're a lot better on certain kinds of people than other kinds of people, but that's bugs we're working out. Yeah. And, you know, that is something that is getting automated. Radiologists is the other one that people instantly go to. Yeah. But so an interesting thing on you were saying the social aspect of things are going to get rid of. Yeah. So they did like empathy tests on kind of aftercare with patients. Okay. Patients preferred ChatGPT to doctors on the aftercare.
Really? Yeah. What do you call aftercare? Like after surgery or whatever?
Yeah, I think it was just kind of the getting the information about what you should be doing. Oh, you've got bandages on, take it off twice a week, wash, like that kind of stuff. Because, you know, obviously, you know, you've been working a lot today. You're probably a little bit shattered. I'm surprised you can even do this, to be honest.
This is my real job.
Yeah. But yeah, so, you know, you're probably not going to treat your first patient the exact same as you're going to treat your last patient. No. And that's just, you know, it will be impossible. The computer doesn't give a shit.
That's true.
It's just one in, one out. And, you know, you can even train it and say, okay, you're going to be extra nice.
The longer that you go down.
Yeah, so it does rank higher on empathy.
So, for example, in that situation, would have just been like text that someone would have read.
I think that would have just been like text that people read, but you know, like I said, one of the ones I do is working with robots and stuff, and we've got a very realistic robot sort of avatar thing that will, you know, we're using it for kind of fun arty stuff, but originally it was made for kind of patient care. Really?
That was because here's the thing for me, like this is the only part for me that I'm like the whole AI thing that I don't necessarily, the only obstacle to me, because for me I'm very much technology probably going to take over. The trend towards innovation is constant and never ending. But the part for me that gets me is I'm like, people and their association with other people is always going to be a thing. So for example, when you hear a song and it was written by an AI, for example, this might just be me in my like love of art or whatever, but I don't really care about a song written by an AI. You know what I mean? Like I care about a song written by Kendrick Lamar or like Taylor Swift if I cared about Taylor Swift. Like this person has written this thing and I'm like, oh, this is their music. Yeah. But I guess the argument to that would be what will grow those relationships with AIs.
I mean, yeah, so one that, or two, you know, maybe writing a song with AI. Say I've got a concept for a song. I'm not a songwriter. Yeah. I do a bit, but yeah.
Of course you do.
Yeah, I do.
What don't you
I
do?
do everything. But yeah, so you might get it to help. But I think a kind of opinion like that, we might come to see it the same sort of way that, you know, people in the 70s or whenever the fuck EDM started coming out would see kind of electronic music in general. Yeah. In the kind of, dude, you're just pressing buttons. That's not, you know, that's not music. You need to, you know, I think it will or, you know, how people used to look at digital artists when they were like a proper contemporary artist and you're like, bro, you're just doing things on an iPad. It's like, that's not. And I think it will definitely, you know, obviously it isn't as high art as, you know, a proper artisan human doing it. But I think we will start to see categories of it being much more accepted.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense to me to a certain level. But if I think about something like a teacher, doctor, whatever, like even things that aren't explicitly with your hands or whatever. So let's say for a doctor or like, let's say for a teacher, actually, teacher's better. Having a person who can relay information that can emotionally connect with someone. You know how it works?
I would think the computers will be able to do that better soon.
Really? How so?
A personalized lesson plan for every student. So it's like kids perform better in schools when it is more one-to-one. Yeah. no school has the resources to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You can have your personalized AI buddy learning assistant just helping your student at his own pace with examples that really relate to him. Timmy likes football. Fucking Joey hates it.
Yeah.
We can use a football analogy for him. We can start talking about ballet to the other kid. Like it's, you know, it's speaking to people in ways that they understand and really knowing and rocking that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's like these recommendation algorithms. A lot of times they know you kind of better than you know yourself. Like, you know, like I don't really, you know, I say we looked through my feed now.
Yeah.
There'd be a lot of stuff there that I wouldn't want people
to see.
Not to see, that just I wouldn't think kind of reflects me. But it obviously does because I watch it. So these things can see the kind of bits of us that we don't even see. And I think that can be extremely useful for teaching people and learning. And you know, I know he doesn't work well after 5 o'clock, so I'm going to do all of the hard stuff right in the morning when he first gets up, or, you know, the other way around, all of these tiny little bits that teachers might know, but like you just can't really actually act on all the time.
I mean, I guess, but then in that world, in that construction with the learning plan, where it's an individualized thing, blah blah blah. Do you think there is something lost by not having a human connection with what you were taught?
No. I don't really. So I feel like I've learned way more on YouTube and stuff than like anything I've learned in school. Yeah. To be honest. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people feel like that way, like especially with, you know, coding and that sort of stuff. Yeah. It's way easier just to have some dude on YouTube going, this is how you do it, this is the stuff. And like, even though you could say there's a human doing that and kind of talking it, like I don't know if that really was the driving factor in doing it. You know, maybe this is just my learning style more than anything else. Yeah. But I don't think you really do need that connection to get knowledge.
Okay, so for example, let's say, a nurse who's not doing something that's explicitly hand-to-hand, having, like you said, with ChatGPT doing the aftercare of that kind of thing. Yeah. Do you think people value getting bad news from a person?
Ooh, I only ever give people good news. So I think probably you would want to hear that from a person. Yeah. Yeah. But I luckily don't work in areas
where you have to give people
that shady.
No, I mean, it's fascinating in areas in there because ultimately it's like, let's say if I send someone an email of being like, here's your lesson plan, fuck off. Yeah. Or if I said, you're gonna die, fuck off, or whatever. That kind of scenario, someone would see that as very distant and very like, this is not someone actively caring. But if it's generated by an AI, there seems to be a way where that could be better.
Yeah, I mean, potentially. There's also the fact that some of these systems are getting so good that we might not even be able to tell. So let's say you're using your email assistant on it, which isn't your email assistant, it's Copilot or whatever. Yeah. So, the email still says, came from Ricky, got a signature there. Yeah. Sorry, you're going to die. Yeah. You might still think the human connection's there even when it's not.
Okay, so for you, what's the goal? Like, what are you trying to do?
I kind of want to get a camper van and just go around like Inner Mongolia. Yeah, I think could be a laugh.
Yeah, you did mention something like that before. It was just driving around the UK.
Oh, was it? Yeah, no, I don't like it here.
No, you're gonna leave.
I think maybe at some point I'll probably come home because obviously there's nowhere like the motherland. But I think for a bit might be good to have a look around, see what's happening.
Yeah, I see. So for you, like, do you feel like the opportunities for AI is like quite strong in the UK?
Yeah, actually it's huge in the UK. It's one of the things really kind of sticking me around now because basically it is huge. We've got the massive supercomputer coming up in Bristol now. We're taking it very seriously as a country, which is nice. And the kind of awkward, weird bit is we're still sort of classed as in the EU, even though we're not. Yeah. So it's like the EU have obviously passed this, their EU AI Rights Act, which is kind of quite restrictive and pretty shitty.
Do you know what it is?
There's a bunch of stuff. Basically, you've got to grade things by their kind of threat level. So it's like a lot of the things we've been talking about would be like high impact and then therefore kind of subjected to a lot more regulations. So technically in the UK, we don't have that. So that means you can be like a lot more free with what you do.
Okay.
But if you're doing something in the UK, chances are you're going to want to sell it to someone in Germany. So you're kind of restricted by it anyway. So we're in an interesting grey area in the UK.
I see.
Japan, on the other hand,
Yeah.
you can do fucking anything.
Really?
Yeah. Like even like steal people's content and use it for training. And
Really?
that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Can we do that?
Sort of, no, sort of, yes. Again, there's a lot of cases sort of going through now. Currently in the UK, I think you sort of can, but that's only because it's classed as a sort of data mining thing rather than data extraction. But this is all going to change very soon and probably be very illegal.
So like, let's say making, you know how, I don't know if you saw there was a deep fake of Keir Starmer.
Yeah.
Saying like, I think there was one like him.
So
doing
I used to do politician deep
You
fakes.
did.
I did it when it was still hard. It's way too easy now.
Yeah.
Like, this is just boomer shouting at children.
No, I mean,
but
I
like,
don't even know.
these kids don't know how they got it. They just
What was
upload file into a website and it doesn't.
What did you say? I find the idea of future crime really interesting.
So that's what I'm really into. I love future crime. So it's things that are definitely going to be illegal at some point.
Yeah.
But currently, like, fine.
Yeah.
Like, fine. So it's like I was flying drones around places where you probably shouldn't, definitely can't fly drones now.
Yeah.
I was deep faking people when that was still illegal. Was still legal.
Yeah. But can I make a deep fake of Keir?
Easily. So easily.
But like, why is that allowed? Like, why could I just make a video of Rishi Sunak saying I love Labour?
Well, so one of the reasons is the sites that let people do it don't have the proper checks.
Fine.
So it's like you have to click a little button that says, I have rights to use this voice.
Yeah.
And like there's no check at all. It would be so simple, so simple for these companies to just make a list of every politician and person and just kind of blacklist the voices.
Yeah, of course.
That would be easy. They're not doing it.
Yeah, but who's going to make them?
Exactly. But I feel like they probably should. As much as I love seeing videos of the presidents playing Minecraft on TikTok and whatnot, those are quite funny.
Yeah.
It should not be allowed in the slightest because a lot of people can't tell the difference.
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, because
this is also why you shouldn't do podcasts.
Why? Because your voice is out there.
Yeah, but it'll be so like I think with about 5 seconds of audio you can sort of clone someone's voice. With a whole podcast you can do like an accurate representation. That's why I'm putting on an accent right now. That's not actually my own. It's going to become like the Ministry of Silly Walks from Monty Python.
I do. It's a classic
It's going to
sketch.
become like that, but for voices.
Yeah.
Just to like protect yourself.
You got to protect yourself before you wreck yourself.
Interesting one with that and AI though.
What?
I reckon the Ministry of Funny Walks could become a thing.
Yeah.
Because have you heard of gait recognition?
Yeah. Well, yeah. The concept of recognizing your gait. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's a way better to use than facial recognition.
Really?
So obviously during COVID and other things like that, everyone's got masks on. You can't put a mask on your gaits unless you're doing a silly walk. So let's bring it back.
So gait recognition, when was that being used?
So that's currently being used in a lot of places. It's better than facial recognition for security cameras because say you're a camera way up in the corner, you're not going to get high quality facial footage. What you are going to get is, because all you really need for gait recognition is the kind of the length of their leg in comparison to their hip.
Oh my God.
And you can easily get that with a low quality camera.
Oh my God.
So yeah, that's what you should be scared of. That's why I walk with a limp.
No, it's just like every time you turn around, there's something else.
Yeah.
There's something else. But it's almost like you said, like not doing podcasts, your voice will be out there. Yeah, my voice is out there, but we're fucked anyway.
Well, so this is you could see voice being out there as actually a benefit because now you've got plausible deniability for saying everything, and this is what actually worries me with the kind of politician aspect of it. It's not the actual deep fakes because the majority of deep fakes we're going to see are just clearly fake. Keir Starmer saying, "Oh, I'm going to bloody do people in on Fortnite tonight," and that kind of stuff. Like, oh, haha, funny. But it does mean when Keir Starmer or Rishi or anyone does say something horrendous and it is filmed, if it's not a credible source, they can just go, actually, I have been subject to many different deep fakeries and forgeries. I never touched that woman and the audio is fake.
My God. No. Yeah, that's so true. Like if someone recorded them saying something or doing something bad, it could just easily be like, oh, that's a deepfake.
Yeah, it's deepfake.
Yeah, like when
that's not me. 3D model.
What was the name of the health secretary during COVID?
Was it Matt Hancock?
Matt Hancock. Yeah, like when he kissed that lady.
Yeah.
He was like, deepfake.
Yeah.
Then that's it.
Yeah.
Surely. And that causes enough plausible deniability. But I guess is there any way to tell a deep fake technologically?
All right, so that depends on who you ask. If you ask me, no. Because the second you realize there are deepfake detection technologies, you stop thinking about how you make the deepfake and you start thinking about how you get around the detections. So there's a lot of ways you can just stupidly trick detection software. So right now, the best source for it is getting like an actual human researcher to look into the video and figure it out. There are automated ways to do it, but they can be easy to trick. Let's say instead of just posting the actual video, I put the video on my phone and I film it.
Yeah.
That's going to mess with so many of them because the quality is going to be less and it's kind of not what they were trained on. And yeah, it's basically the second you know there is going to be a detector on the other side, you're just working to get against that, and that's the whole kind of
like ad block.
Yeah,
as a kind of Chrome extension.
It's a cat and mouse game sort of thing. And,
Yeah. Do you think? I mean, how far do you think we are away from people actually using it as like nefariously? For example,
people are.
In what context do you think?
Oh, so there's a couple really fun ones you can do, really fun ones. So there's with the voice stuff. I can do a video call as someone. Yeah. Basically, so there was a dude that he found some rich company. I've forgotten the exact details of it, but basically said, "Oh, this is urgent video call. Get on it. We need to wire transfer all of this money to this other account." Yeah. They're like, "Well, it's the boss's face. Yeah. It's the boss's voice. Video call quality looks a bit weird, but it seems pretty urgent. He's probably on a phone Wi-Fi or something." And then they transferred all the money across.
Oh man! And in those situations, you can't really get the money back. Like the bank.
I'm not sure what happened with it, but yeah.
Yeah, no, but like because I just know from like just personal experience, if you get scammed and you consent to sending your money, that's a lot harder to sort out than if someone like hacks your account.
Yeah, that's why there's going to be some changes on that soon. I don't know why I know this, but someone was talking about it the other day. The banks are going to start having more of the responsibility of the scams.
Really?
But what that means is when you're transferring money to accounts you've not transferred to before in like a bank transfer, you're just going to get way more warnings.
Yeah.
Are you sure you know this guy?
Oh my God, it's so annoying. Yeah. Like you get so many times being like, yes, just let me transfer the money.
I got fraud alerted 6 times transferring money to myself.
I know.
Like, do you know this person? I was like, yeah, that's me.
That's me.
Then the account I was sending the money to was like, is this what's happening here? I was like, yeah, that's me.
That's still me. That's still me. What about like as an AI guy, are you in like a war? AI guy. Are you in a war with crypto, or are they your friends?
Oh no, they're our friends. I think. Yeah. It's kind of all in the same techie ecosystem. I think there's a lot more room for kind of scams in crypto, to be honest. So it's something I stay away from a little bit. I've got like a couple £100 in it just to keep up with it, so I know what's going on. But yeah, my opinion with crypto is the ones that should go up never actually go up.
Interesting.
The only cryptocurrency that's actually useful is called Monero, and that's the one criminals use to buy drugs online.
Really?
So that's the only one that's actually like a cryptocurrency, like a secret currency.
Yeah.
And people just ignore it. It's been banned from every single exchange.
Really?
Just because it's the only one that actually works and the government are like scared of.
Of course. Yeah. But like so like you can't use it on Coinbase.
No.
Whatever.
Well, maybe Coinbase. I know it was banned from Binance and a bunch of other ones, but it's just like in my mind, I quite like dystopian shit and kind of like role playing as it. So
evidently,
have you seen that nourishment stuff that comes in a can in corner shops? It's like it's similar, but it's just called nourishment, but spelt wrong. I had some of that the other day. It literally comes in a can, and I just just for the dystopian aspect of it, just like it just it's like Futurama, the Bachelor Chow.
Yeah, Bachelor Chow. Yeah, it's just nourishment.
It's spelt wrong.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is, because it can't be just nourishment. No, it would, but I feel like people kind of like that kind of thing. Yeah. Like there's very much, even like Huel, for example, people like the whole, this is sleek, it's efficient, it's all I need. Like I'm very futuristic and techie. I'm a robot. Plug me in.
So I go for that, but also I like the lo-fi aspect of it, because that's what kind of that's what cyberpunk stuff sort of is. It's kind of high tech, low society. Yeah. So like Huel, it feels a bit too fancy. It's in it's in a nice bottle. The nourishment stuff, that's just in a can. Like it literally Yeah.
Do you have any, like, as someone as well who's an expert in AI, I'm gonna call you that. As someone who's an expert in AI
scientist and pioneer.
As someone who's at the cutting edge of AI. Yeah. Do you have any insight for someone who's doom scrolling of how like to stop that.
How to stop doom scrolling.
Yeah.
I am a doom scroll victim, bro. I love to doom scroll. It's all I do. I just let the algorithm feed me, like send that shit straight into my brain. I love it. But I was using a flip phone for a while, and that fucks up every other aspect of your life, but it does stop you doom scrolling.
Yeah, of course it does.
Yeah, but like I think that's the thing. People don't realize how much you need your phone in every single situation, and it's like you will just be more unproductive. Just delete the apps. I think is the best way. So
yeah, I mean, TikTok has given me so much.
I'm never on TikTok anymore.
Man, TikTok has given me so much. Like, I owe so much of the success I've had in stand up from TikTok. But
also being funny helps.
You'd hope so. I'm a little bit, but like, my God, is it a toxic app?
Yeah.
TikTok is a toxic app.
I think TikTok's toxic for you, but I think Instagram is more toxicity, especially when you go to the comments.
Yes,
like
it is.
I love that just to see it.
Yes,
it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But also, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, it's true. Like TikTok, you can literally just like, you can piss away an hour very easily.
Oh, so easily.
Without even thinking about it.
I did know the stat for it, but it was like the average scrolling session on TikTok, I think was like an hour and a half. I think maybe possibly longer.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a movie.
Yeah, that's a movie.
You know.
And a lot of people are on TikTok while watching a movie.
Yeah.
That's the saddest thing. But I feel like it's very normalized now, especially for younger people.
Yeah, definitely.
Do they even watch YouTube videos anymore?
Like if I see a video is longer than 10 minutes, I'm like, what's the point? I can watch so many shorts in this time.
Yeah, that's the weird thing even about this podcast is the actual episodes will get like whatever views, like a few hundred on YouTube.
And then the clips.
Exactly. On Spotify, it's a bit more. So what's interesting? So the analytics, looking behind the curtain, the analytics. Yeah. So the YouTube one will get like maybe 1,000. That's a good one, right? Yeah. Like that's a good one. But then the Spotify one will maybe get like 5,000. So people are willing to listen to the whole thing on Spotify. But
God bless you.
God bless you all. But the clips are the part that people watch the most. Yeah. So it's almost like the idea of doing a full hour-long podcast.
Yeah, we should just try and get clips at each other.
Exactly. That's literally it.
Just spam some hot takes.
That's actually what it is. It's literally just like all you do to get a good clip is you say something that triggers another person to say something that'll be long and poignant.
Yeah.
So if I said to you, for example, okay, let's do a clip. Let's do a clip. This will only be for the people who watch the whole episode. Yeah. Okay, Ed, what is the most dangerous part about AI?
The most dangerous part of AI?
Yeah.
Well, I would definitely say the most dangerous part of AI when we're thinking about this, what most people don't realize is the most dangerous part of AI is actually doom scrolling.
Doom scrolling, definitely. Thank you for that.
There was a lot of hooks as well. You've got to keep them engaged. You know, people really like them. Most people don't know that.
Yeah, they don't. That's a good one, actually. Let's see how that does. Actually, that'll be a good experiment. But yeah, no, I mean, I guess what I enjoy about these conversations is it makes me feel less optimistic, but I care less about the fact that I'm not optimistic. If you know what I mean. Yeah. It's more like numb. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, that's how I feel all the time. It's just numb.
Yeah.
Just numb. Yeah.
Yeah, because so let's say, for example, here's something actually I want to know about. So AI, right, is kind of the brain side of things. And then you have robots, which are like the body side of things. Which one is ahead?
AI is ahead right now, but robots are coming up.
Really?
Robots are very much coming up, yeah. There's and also they can kind of help each other. So we've got softwares now that you can basically make a robot, you can put it into a virtual factory, and then you can simulate it working in a variety of different situations over and over and over and over again. And basically what that means is instead of, back in day, if you wanted to teach a robot how to do something, you would have to program in every single movement.
Yeah.
Now you can just make them teach themselves how to move. Iteratively over time. And that's him speeding that up so fast.
Interesting. And using AI to help in like the construction of the robot?
No, in the movements. So you you would make the robot, you would put it into a virtual system with all of the gears and all of the motors kind of in the same places, but simulated in a 3D thing. And then instead of programming in these movements by hand, you would just say, stand up. And it would start to learn the most efficient way to stand up.
Yeah. Because that seems like that's the hardest thing. Because are you a South Park fan?
Yeah.
Have you watched the episode of South Park where the people who are like the manual laborers become like really rich?
Yes. Yeah.
So like the concept of the episode is that the handyman essentially becomes someone who everyone is calling on all the time because no one else can do anything anymore, and only people who do things with their hands are people who will really keep their jobs. And
it's
eventually,
like Randy's the geologist, and he's like, "Oh fuck, how do I fix a toilet?"
exactly. So it's like, do you think the people who do those kind of hands kind of things actually do have a future, or are they fucked as well?
I think they've definitely got a longer future than entry level lawyers.
You really have a thing for lawyers.
Well, I just think it is one of those ones that is like, we're already seeing it. I mean, software engineers as well, I think, is another big one.
That's an interesting one. That's an interesting one, because when we were younger, they used to tell us software engineering was the one. But like, is software engineering a good job, like, to get into now?
So I would still say yes, because like coding's fun, and it is, we are still going to need people building these apps. However, if somebody is motivated enough, it's got to the point where they can definitely get it a lot further themselves with sort of no actual software engineering training is basically. So it's kind of leveling the playing field a lot more.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Because it's not, I mean, how good is AI compared to a human at coding?
Depends on the human. Like if you're really good at it, the AI is probably not as good. If you have never coded before, you would be able to make quite interesting things.
Yeah.
And I think that's the real kind of, playing field leveler sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, the interesting analogy that I heard was like, the best chess computer can beat any human.
Yeah.
But a human and a chess computer can beat the best chess computer.
Is that true?
Yeah, apparently, yeah. The human, because it's like, well, someone told me this. That's as true as I know it to be. But as in, I guess it kind of makes sense as well. I mean, it's also kind of what you're saying as well about the horses.
Hey, Jamie, can we pull that one up?
Can we pull that one up, Tom? Can we look up on the chess computer? But it kind of also does make sense, because it's like what you're saying about the horses and the cars. It's like you're using AI as a tool to be able to predict things, to be able to predict the moves, and also perhaps I don't know how much credence you put into this. You find it? I thought you were making eye contact with me. But like, do you think there is like a monopoly on creativity for AI?
Oh, what do you mean? Do you think it's going to take over?
Sorry, I mean, do you think there's a monopoly on creativity for humans against AI?
No, I think creativity is a lot more algorithmic than we kind of originally thought it was. And I think that was one of the big misconceptions about computers, is they can't be creative.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of, if you put enough things, basically they're really good at recreating things.
Yeah.
It will always be a recreation. But most things are sort of that anyway. Like most ideas are sort of different versions of other ideas.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think with enough examples, these things start to happen that we call emergent capabilities. So that's when you don't directly train it to do something, and it just is able to do it. And I kind of do think creativity could be a bit of an emergent capability.
I mean, I guess what I would wonder is, I get how you can feed a computer loads of rock and roll. And it makes I get how you can feed a computer loads of blues, and it makes loads of blues and great blues. But what I wonder is, can it then make rock and roll? Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, it would definitely be some examples first, I would say. Yeah,
yeah. Like, kind of, because like blues.
One fun thing to do is have it come up with songs about the computer experience. So I love making soul songs about the fact the singer has no soul.
Oh my god,
that can end up being quite fun.
Oh my god, what a life!
Yeah.
Like, what's your day to day? Are you actually going places, like seeing people, blah blah blah, or are you working basically at home and stuff?
Depends on the day. So I wake up at maybe 2 in the afternoon, obviously. Doom scroll for about 5 hours maybe. So then it'll be 7 o'clock. At 7 o'clock, I'll turn on my computer and check my emails.
Yeah.
There won't be any. So then I go back to doom scrolling.
Yeah.
Then people give me money.
Nice.
It's crazy.
What a life.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. No, so in
you had me until 7 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah, so I go in when I do the trainings. Obviously, I have to go in person to teach people how to use ChatGPT. We've got a little office in Hackney for Yaya Labs where we play with robots and 3D print cool things. Follow Yaya Labs.
Nice.
It's great. And then for Matheson, a lot of that's in Bristol, but most of the kind of actual developing I do kind of work from home.
So you're a busy guy.
Yeah. Some days we call it feast and famine.
Yeah. Is this the it for you? Like, have you found your calling? That's what you want to do now?
Well, so I am quite liking it because it is, it is quite freeing. I kind of, even though I've got all of these things going on, I can kind of decide what order I'm doing them in and when what's happening and this sort of thing. Occasionally, I am quite jealous of friends with kind of actual consistent jobs. So kind of, even though all of this is going fine and, I'm very much doing it, going into the office and having that kind of socialization, I actually quite like.
Interesting.
Turns out working from home all the time and only talking to computers
it's not good
sometimes gets you a bit.
Man,
you're the first person I've seen this month. Thanks for that.
That's good. That's definitely not true. It can't be true. You're teaching boomers to use ChatGPT.
Yeah, no, it's not true.
Nah, man. I guess. I mean, I think a lot of people did really like the work from home thing, but I feel like it does kind of drive you crazy, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does get a bit of it, especially when so when I'm working from home in Worcester. I've got my room and I've got a little kind of like officey room that I use as room. Now that I'm in London in this Airbnb, I'm kind of doing it all from one room, and God, that's depression fuel, bro.
Oh, man.
When it's kind of wake up, move over to the desk, same room, barely any light. Also London, bro, fuck London.
Man, what do you hate about London?
I am a countryside fella. I like fields and cows and walking around with dogs. London is just polluted and smoggy and smelly.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to have to live here for a while because this is where all the things are.
You're going to have to live here for a while.
Yeah, it kind of gets you.
You're stuck here till you're 50.
Exactly. But no, the countryside is just better in every single way. I think. It's like people say you can do things here and do anything.
Yeah.
But it's like everything's like a 40-minute bus or train or whatever away.
Yeah.
And at that point, where I live in the country, if I get on a 40-minute drive, I can get places too.
Yeah, exactly. My advice would be is just because you grew up in Worcester, so London wasn't really Worcestershire. So London wasn't really a part of your childhood, I assume.
No, not at all.
Yeah, so because for me and Big T, the producer in the corner, so we grew up in Bedford, which is basically a satellite of London. So I'm assuming Tom would agree that he spent a lot of time in London as well as a kid. So for me, it's I wouldn't see myself as a Londoner, but I feel so much gravitates around this place. Because
you know it.
Yeah, I know it relatively well. But my advice would be find the place in London that you like.
Yes, I'm in Hackney right now. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool place. It's a cool place. I think the thing about London is it's people say they don't like London, and I hated London for a long time because I was kind of I don't really want to go there. I moved to Brighton, great seaside, nice countryside, all that stuff.
YouTubers.
Exactly, a lot of YouTubers, a lot of guests on this podcast as well. But the thing is, what I think when people say they don't like London is 100%. It's crowded, smelly. People are awful here. People are assholes in London. But the thing is, I think, is you just have to find the part of London that you like. Because there are green parts of London. You have to go further out, but they do exist. Nothing like Worcestershire. Yeah. But,
it's literally, I step out my house and then it's just fields.
Yeah, exactly. If you're forced to be here anyway. You just have to find the part that you like, because
that's the thing. I'm not really forced to be here. Recently I've decided to, because I was just doing 3-hour trains kind of every other day, which kind of bearable, but getting up at 5 a.m. does also take its toll.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, do you have a group here? Do you have a group of friends here?
A couple, but they're all in different places. So it's a bit hard. But I want to. That's one thing that I do want to start doing. The kind of doing clubs and societies and stuff in Worcester obviously isn't too good. And around here, I feel like there's probably a lot of fun things you can do. Capiera looks interesting.
Capiera. No, because people would love you as well because of your weird job. Yeah. Like WeWork. Is WeWork still a thing?
So I mainly work in WeWorks.
Do you?
Yeah. So with the training job, we've got a general purpose. Again, look us up. We're brilliant.
Yeah.
We work with WeWork a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we do it in the which one is it? The Waterloo
Yeah.
WeWork, and that's like the flagship one.
Yeah.
So that is bone apple teeth, bro.
Bone apple
They've
teeth.
got beer taps in there that
Really?
like I think it's like 4 o'clock or something. The taps just turn on.
Really?
And it's free beer. You can just be like, oh, guys, I know we're like working right now, but the taps have just come on. So should we go get a pint and then like come back up? And
That's so cool. Yeah. That's so cool, man. No, I mean, it seems like you're living the life then as a young man.
Yeah, no, extremely. No complaints at all. I'm doing absolutely brilliant. I love every single second of everything. Nothing ever
goes wrong.
Goes horribly. Yeah.
How about
it's all exactly how people see it. Yeah.
Tom, how long have we been going for? 55 minutes. 55 minutes. Fuck, I can't believe it's been so long. Fine. I won't keep you for very long. I think the lights just went off, but it's fine. I won't keep you for very much longer. So, the way
I'm not busy, bro.
No, I know you're not busy.
You're the doctor.
I have to remind myself of that too. Yeah. Is it just the lights that went off? Oh, well, let's hope so.
Let's talk about some doctoring.
Doctoring, yeah.
What are you doing today?
I am on my last rotation of F1.
What's that mean?
F1 is foundation. You're the first person to actually ask me about being a doctor. So many people take it at such a face value. They're just like, okay.
Yeah, he's a doctor.
He's a doctor.
He does doctoring.
He's a doctor. He does the stethoscope. And yeah, so...
Do you have a stethoscope?
I do have a stethoscope. I have a stethoscope with me as well.
Get it out.
For the lads? Yeah.
Let me see it.
Let me see your stethoscope. Thing is, I would happily get it out. It would just take me too long to find it. But basically, I'm on first year of foundation year 1, which is basically your first year of medicine. And what that involves is you go around different specialties. So for the first year, I had infectious diseases. Then I had A&E.
Which ones?
All of them. I had all the infectious diseases. I had chlamydia for the first 4 months.
What's your favorite infectious disease?
Ooh, in what sense? Like, which one would I like to hang out with?
Yes.
Okay, so I think malaria is pretty cool.
Okay.
Malaria is pretty cool because it's niche. Malaria is like that friend who's like popular in another country, but no one knows him where you are. So like that friend who comes from like Singapore, who's like, oh yeah, all my friends love me in Singapore, but it's like, fuck off, you nerd. Because everyone has malaria in the world.
You don't even drink, bro.
Exactly. But everyone has malaria here, but everyone has malaria in like Africa and stuff, but no one has it really here. But I think it's actually a really cool disease because it's basically one of the biggest killers of humans ever to exist. And most people don't really realize that. But right now what I'm doing is cardiology, which is exhausting. And it's actually
is that like a pun?
No, it's not a pun.
Did you just try and pun me?
No, I didn't. How would that be a pun?
Exhausting cardiology, is that surely?
I mean, surely I'd be like, now I'm doing cardiology, which is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So I'm heartbroken.
Okay, so what's a high heart rate for someone my age? Because I feel like I've got a
high heart rate.
So I'm usually wearing a smartwatch because obviously I'm a techie guy.
Which one?
I've got a Samsung Gear 4 because it's the one you can spin the thing.
Oh, nice.
And also, bitches love Ben 10. And like, you can get the most high quality Ben 10 apps on it. It's great.
Okay, how old are you again? 24, 23?
I'm 23, soon to be 24.
You're 23, soon to be 24. Well, fine. I mean, we're the same age, basically. But
yeah.
So
have you also found that girls are really into Ben 10?
They are. They love Ben 10. Love it. My girlfriend hates fucking Ben 10. I can sing the whole Ben 10 theme song from beginning to end.
And you often do.
And that is the way to annoy her. That's the way to annoy her because she's always like, "How do you know this?" But you like almost forgot my birthday. But anyway, so
yes, I'd say like a normal heart rate for me is like 90.
90.
And I feel like that's maybe too high, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is high, but in isolation.
Am I going to die?
Well, I can't confirm nor deny because you might sue me. But it's you can't really tell in isolation. Like it's kind of a meaningless result. Like it's one data point in many, but it's like a normal heart rate is basically anything from 60 to 100. But it's also like people put a lot of credence to their heart rate. Like people have a lot of like, oh, my heart rate is 60, so I'm so physically fit because I run marathons or whatever. But sometimes like some people have really high heart rates who aren't fit, and it doesn't mean anything.
Have you gone down the Brian Johnson rabbit hole yet?
No.
So
Bring me down.
He's the millionaire, probably not billionaire, who's tracking every data point of him and trying to.
Oh
try to live forever.
The like guy who looks really young but terrifyingly young.
That young.
Does he have like brown hair and like a serial killer face? Yeah,
I'm kind of into him.
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah.
You actually.
I'm kind of into it.
What sell me, Brian Johnson.
Well, so basically, I just like the fact that he's putting all of the information out there for people to see. He's not like hoarding it. And also, it's this concept that like maybe we can live forever.
Maybe.
You know, bit hubristic, maybe.
Yeah,
but like,
yeah.
you know, no one's really looked into it.
Well, no one has, to be fair. Yeah. No, it's true. Like the optimum life to live forever. Yeah. What do you know? Any of his tips?
Olive oil. Olive oil was meant to be pretty good. He sells olive oil that he calls snake oil. So you know, take that with a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
I think just generally eating healthy is
basically
one of his wants.
Just eat healthy.
Shocking.
You gotta just eat healthy.
Exercise.
Yeah, no man, but it is also crazy.
There's also those Israelis that lengthen in telemeters.
Oh yeah, telomeres.
I think that helps.
Yeah. Your knowledge is astounding. What I find really interesting though is ever since starting this cardio job is the thing that shocked me the most is the amount of people who have heart attacks who are not overweight.
You missed one though.
What?
The amount of things that shocked me the most.
Nice. You know what?
The defibrillator, bro.
Nice.
It was the defibrillator.
The thing is, I am just a pun machine. I just can't even work it out. But the amount of things that surprised me.
What did shock you the most?
The amount of people who have heart attacks who are not overweight. The amount of people. It's crazy. Like a lot of them, you'd think they'd be like really big overweight people. I mean, maybe it's the confounding thing is those are the people who make it to hospital. Because maybe all the people who are overweight
can't fit in the ambulance.
Yeah, exactly. No, do you want to know one of the saddest, funniest things about like overweight people in hospital? Yeah, you might know this already, but if someone is really big and they can't fit into the CT scanner. You know a CT scanner?
Yeah.
It's like a big donut.
Yeah.
Or like an MRI. It's also like a big tunnel. If they can't fit in that, so maybe they're like 160 kgs plus, maybe more, then what you have to do is you have to send them to the zoo.
Have you ever sent people to the zoo?
I've been close to sending people to the zoo. But then it just
do they know that they're being sent to the zoo, or do they just say, "Oh, we're taking you to another facility now"?
You have to have a very earnest conversation about sending someone to the zoo. And look, I am not one to make light of anyone's plight, but that is a difficult conversation to do with a straight face.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
We're going to the zoo. But yeah, that is honestly one of the worst things. But look, it is interesting though, because a lot of the times the scans aren't even necessary, so it just ends up being that they just don't end up happening. But I have had a lot of my friends who have told me that they had to do that, which is just tragic. But look, Ed, I like to end this podcast every single time with a tradition. Tom knows the tradition. He's been here for every single one. And the tradition is I like to ask the person a question about themselves, where they see their life, and you can take the question however you want. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
In 5 years' time, what will you think your biggest mistake has been in this period of your life?
Ooh. That's a great question. What would my biggest mistake be? To be honest, I doubt I will have any.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because there's no point making mistakes, so just don't.
I see. So you just go through life just doing everything correctly.
Exactly. So I think that's where people really get things wrong. I think is instead of doing the correct thing, they make these mistakes. It's like, bro,
just don't make mistakes. Just don't make mistakes.
Just don't.
That is an incredible way to end this. Be an AI. Don't make mistakes.
Exactly.
Do AIs make mistakes?
Yeah, all the time.
How does that come about if they're just code?
So we call them hallucinations.
Okay.
And it basically, just because they predict the next word, sometimes they can predict words that sound quite right, and then very confidently continue saying that. You can make ChatGPT do them all the time if you like.
Yeah.
Ask it about me or you. It might not actually know us. It will make something up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. That's bad.
Yeah, it's fucking scary.
Thank you, Ed. The incredibly dumb Ed. Daniels. I'll see you later, everyone. Bye bye.
Thanks a lot.